In this video, we'll show you the 3-thread rolled hem. The 3-thread rolled hem is one of the most popular overlock stitches. Because this stitch creates a fine, narrow finish, it can be used for a wide range of projects, such as the edges on ruffles, the edges of pleats, and even table linens. Let's set the machine for the 3-thread rolled hem and show ways to adjust the machine for that perfect edge. To thread up for the rolled hem, we're first going to thread the machine as though we're going to do a regular 3-thread overlock. But we're going to do some adjustments to the machine to get the look of the rolled edge. One is a tension adjustment, one is a stitch length adjustment, and one is an adjustment of the stitch finger. For the 3-thread rolled hem, we'll raise our mast, and we're going to use the upper and lower looper threads and just one needle thread. We're going to start with the upper looper thread. You're going to bring it up through your thread mast, and then hold the thread and snap it from right to left into this thread guide, and then bring the thread down through this tension disc and down through the channel. Inside the looper area is a little chart that shows you how to thread the machine, all color-coded. So starting with the red one, we're bringing the thread down through this channel. We're going to thread from right to left into this first guide that's marked with a red dot. Now we're going to thread it into this one, and it just pops in kind of from bottom to top. Just pull it up into that guide. And then there's another guide. The next one is here, so we'll just pop that in like so. And the next thing we're going to do now is thread the eye of the upper looper. Now thread the eye of the upper looper, and it's usually helpful to use your tweezer to grab a hold of the end of that thread and bring it around to the back. And there you are, you've threaded your upper looper. Next we'll thread the lower looper, so we'll take that thread, bring it up through the thread mast, snap it into this guide at the top of the machine from right to left, and then bring it down through the tension disc and through the channel. The lower looper thread goes into this guide here, this gold one, and now we're going to bring it over into this next guide, and you can just slip it in from behind, and then from bottom to top into this next one, and then we'll slip it into this guide as well. Next, you want to place your thread into the eye of the lower looper, and then grab the thread end and bring that toward you. Use your tweezer to bring this thread now over. There's another thread guide over here you can see with yellow, and there are these two little arms that thread gets staged into. And then as you continue holding the thread, putting a little tension on it with your right hand, place your finger under this guide and push it all the way up, and it will thread your lower looper. Now place your lower looper thread over the upper looper thread. You can just check that to make sure this gold one is over the top of the red one. You don't want it going underneath, because if it is, your machine won't sew properly. You want to make sure that gold one lays over the top of the red one. And finally, we're going to do the right needle, and that is our green thread. Bring it through the guide at the top, snap it in, bring it into the tension discs and down the channel. Then bring it down through this guide, across, and then up over the top of this U-turn area that will actually get your thread into the take-up lever, down, and then around this thread guide just above the needle. Thread the eye of the needle and use your tweezers to grab the end of it and pull it out toward the back, and then place the thread underneath the presser foot, and we're ready to test our stitch. Before adjusting for the rolled hem, let's see what our basic 3-thread overlock looks like. beautiful 3-thread overlock. But now for the rolled hem, which is much finer and narrower, there are a few adjustments we need to make to the machine. First thing we're going to do is move the position of the stitch finger lever. For normal sewing, it's on N, but for rolled hem sewing, we need to bring it back to the R for rolled hem. This makes the stitch finger under the presser foot smaller, so the row of stitching will be narrower. Next, we'll adjust the lower looper tension and turn it up to about 8 or 9. And then on the side of the machine at the left, we're going to adjust the stitch length dial and bring it down to around 1 or 2. Now we're going to place our fabric in front of the presser foot and step on the foot control to start sewing. And there's our beautiful 3-thread rolled edge. Here you can see that there's a little bit of fabric showing in between the stitches. And if you prefer to have something a little more solid and filled in looking like we had on the napkins we showed you earlier, one of the things you can do is use, in your upper looper, you can use a texturized nylon thread. It looks like regular thread when it comes off the spool, but when you let loose of it, it kind of fluffs out or gets a little fluffy, and that will give you a really nice solid edge if you put that in your upper looper, if that's the look you want for your project. For more information about sewing with an overlock machine, or for information about optional accessories that are available for your machine, visit the Serger website.